Welcome back to the channel, folks, where today, in this scorching hot summer of July 2025, we find ourselves in Arable Field Margins to look at another plant in the 50 Flowers in 50 Day series. In today's episode, the plant that we are looking at is known as the Spear Thistle or Cirsium vulgare. This noble stalwart of arable field margins and disturbed ground is also a ruderal species. In the introductory photo sequence, we look at some of the features of the plant. In the first year, Spear Thistle develops as a basal rosette. As the plant develops in year 2, we compare and contrast the upper and lower leaves. What is most evident on this thistle, as we shall see in the video that follows, whether it be on the leaves, the wing stems or the bracts surrounding the flower head, is the sharp yellow spines. The purple or mauve flower heads are 2 to 5 centimetres and occur in ones or twos in a flat-topped panicle. The bracts at the base of the flower inflorescence are narrow and spreading and distinctly spine-tipped, usually with yellow spines. The flowers contain multiple florets typical of the family Asteraceae or the Compositae family. The stem is typically solid and celery-like and polygonal with a groove, the main feature being intermittent wings, which are tipped with the yellow spine-like structure protecting the plant from grazing animals. The presentation of the upper and lower leaves vary, with the lower leaves potentially reaching between 15 and 30 centimetres in length. The leaf stalk on the lower leaves are short and it is absent in the upper leaves. Spear Thistle, or Cirsium vulgare, is a member of the family Asteraceae, or the daisy family, and it is known by a number of common vernacular names, namely Bull Thistle, Scots Thistle, Scotch Thistle, Scottish Thistle or Common Thistle, it being the national plant of Scotland. It is likely that many of us have had a small sample of Spear Thistle in our pockets, albeit without knowing about it, as we can see from various coinage throughout the years. Turning to the Latin binomial, the prefix cirsium is said to be derived from the Greek kursos, which means swollen vein, which alludes to the reaction when the skin is pricked by the spines. The suffix vulgare is relatively straightforward, meaning common, and in older texts you may see the plant referred to as Cardus lanceolatus before it was changed in terms of taxonomy. We turn now to the habitat of the plant. Spear Thistle is often a ruderal species, meaning a first coloniser of disturbed land. It prefers grassy arable field margins and waste places by paths, roads and railways, both coastal and inland, and nitrogen-rich soil which enhances growth, as might be expected in fertilised arable fields. Welcome to my channel, folks, Wildlife Ranger here on YouTube, where today we have returned to this arable field margin to look at the plant of today, which is known as the Spear Thistle or the Bull Thistle, or sometimes known and adopted by the Scots as the Scotch Thistle. Spear Thistle is basically a ruderal species or a pioneer species of disturbed ground, and to my right we can see the tractor tracks where the tractor has moved around the arable field, and obviously it has spread quite a carpet of pineapple mayweed. So today we are looking at this plant as we looked at yesterday other arable plants. So for example, we have redshank, we have the two thistles, marsh and meadow, we have the mayweeds and the chamomiles, and various other plants of arable margins, including this ribwort plantain and this greater plantain. So this is the context that we're in, and we're now going to quickly examine the plant and look at some of its salient botanical features. As always, before we embark on our journey into the field to find it, we recap on the features and characteristics which will enable us to identify it. As always, we include a detailed botanical slide which can be stopped at any point for those of you who may wish to study the plant in more detail. The spear thistle is a member of the family Asteraceae or daisy family. The flower colour is typically purple or mauve, with flowers 20 to 40 millimeters in diameter in a panicle or flat top cluster of 1 to 2 flowers. The flower bracts recurve from the base of the inflorescence and are upwardly straight with a yellow spine. It is a tall biennial growing up to 1.8 metres or 5 foot 11 in year 2 and is a rosette in year 1. The plant develops a sturdy taproot. The flower head of spear thistle has 1 to 3 flowers on each divided stem, usually 2. The flower structure is typical of the family Asteraceae and the smaller floret structures, containing 5 joined tubular lobes, slightly unequal by way of petals. It has 5 stamens joined into a tube, 1 stigma, which is 2-lobed on a long style. It has 1 ovary below the petals, which is 2-celled, and the fruits are typically a achene and a pappus or parachute structure which disperses in the wind as per the slide that follows. Spear thistle flowers between the months of June and October. Spear thistle is a relatively straightforward thistle to identify. However, there are possible confusion species, notably the melancholy thistle, and we'll be returning to the comparative features of the thistles in future videos. Okay folks, so let's do a quick top to tail of the botanical features of this relatively straightforward plant, Cirsium vulgare or spear thistle, also known as Scotch Thistle or Bull Thistle. It is a ruderal or pioneer species, which, as you can see from the tractor tracks, is located on the margin of an arable cultivated field. Hence the large swathe of pineapple mareweed disappearing on my right into the distance. Let's begin at the bottom. The plant itself has a large taproot and the stems are winged, and on the wings of the stem there are also the yellow spines, which is a key feature of this plant throughout. That is the stems. Turning towards the leaves are pinnately lobed and have a large yellow spine, which is very, very sharp indeed. I don't know if you can just see that sharp spine here, which will penetrate the skin very easily. So that's the leaves. They are pinnately lobed with a sharp yellow spine. Moving up towards the inflorescences, those are pink, purple, and approximately 2.5 to 5 centimeters in diameter, located on a flower head which has spines beneath the space. So that is the overall form of the plant. As you can just see there to my eye level, we have a large white nectarine on that thistle because it is a very, very rich source of nectar. So that is the plant in essence or in summary. Spear thistle, Cirsium vulgare, located as a pioneer species or as a ruderal on disturbed land such as arable or cultivated field margins, which is where we're at today. And when we visited yesterday and the day before, we looked at plants such as this greater plantain, this ribwort plantain, as well as the other thistles, which were meadow thistle and marsh thistle, and obviously red shank as well as the chamomiles and mayweeds. Those are all plants of disturbed land which like arable field margins, which is where we're seeing the spear thistle today. Today being the 11th of July, where we're set for sky high temperatures of 31 degrees plus. The leaf detail is as given by the slide, with the overarching feature of prickly yellow spines designed to deter grazing animals. In the following slides we compare the larger basal leaf with the upper leaf, and the rest we can see from the videos to follow. Well folks, that's it from me from this rural tranquility and our spiny friend. Once again, thank you very much indeed for watching. If you have liked or enjoyed this episode or found it interesting or educational, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot in order to bring you the next video in the series. So all that remains to be said, in the words of Maggie, our feline friend and international symbol of floral appreciation, is whatever the weather may be, go outdoors and enjoy it.